My top main non-value activities were the amount of time spent scheduling or reworking the schedule.
My email was directing my day.
Staff interruptions, and the interruptions were appropriate. It just takes up a lot of time.
For me, I spent a lot of time on scheduling.
So a lot of the job I was doing was my administrative assistant's job.
Doing filing in my office and taking minutes from staff meetings.
The amount of time spent on duplication of forms.
Driving back and forth between the Pasco and the General Hospital for meetings.
And a lot of time on forms.
And the amount of time I was spending weeding through a variety of emails and finding myself in email jail, unable to send or receive.
For my first non-value activity was to place a note on the door and tell staff at the beginning of every shift that I have allocated this time frame to be a do not disturb time unless it's something vitally important. And if it is something vitally important, do we need to discuss it later or should we discuss it now? So they just get time frames and it works well.
So it's always communication. So I try to structure in more strategic ways of connecting with all the departments and connecting with the entire group, which of course the visibility wall has done a brilliant job of. We absolutely love the wall. The staff are very engaged at the wall.
With scheduling, I stopped doing a lot of the checking and rechecking. It didn't make any sense to redo work somebody else was doing, so I stopped that immediately, and that saved a lot of time every week.
The forms, the duplication of forms, there's been some work done within other departments, so they have streamlined their processes to make our work somewhat easier.
So the action that I took was to take the shuttle back and forth between the two sites. That has saved me probably on average an hour per day, and so that has allowed me to spend value-added time in whatever action for the patients and for the staff, which has been very beneficial.
With the travel, actually the region assisted with the shuttle, and seriously that saved me probably 45 minutes each time I would come in the winter.
Our very first session for the building management capacity, there was a gentleman there who spoke, and one of the things that he mentioned was that he only lets himself keep 20 emails in his inbox. So I've taken what he said to heart, although 20 is an unrealistic number. I hover around the 50 mark, but I make a decision, I read it, and then I make a decision to respond, file, or delete, and move on. And that has freed up a lot of time.
As well, I quit assigning charge for a month out, which is what I used to do, and so I would go in 2-week increments, and that saved a lot of the rework, both for her and me.
The other thing that I did was I started a binder called Mandatory Reading. And I only put things in there that I want the staff to absolutely read. I don't put fluffy things in there. I have a manager communication wall that I put other things up. And I even put mandatory reading posted. So I'll put it on the manager wall, so then they go on the staff, they'll see mandatory reading posted today. So there's a binder they go to and they read what the mandatory reading is and they sign it.
So my third action involving to free up some of my time was to ask for support from an administrative office person, and so this person comes in every couple of weeks and does my filing. I have an area that she always knows to go to, and she files it. She has alphabetized my entire filing cabinet. She takes minutes for me for staff meetings that I do monthly. She distributes them, she makes corrections, and so that has been a huge time-saving factor for me.
I'm able to spend more time on the unit doing other projects rather than reworking, scheduling, or following up on forms, doing things that well, they were non-value. So I'm able to be available to the staff. We've gone ahead with some different projects, some different nursing procedures that are a little more advanced skills that I had wanted to see through, making decisions on some of our graphic sheets, and just making some changes for better patient care on the unit where I'm not spending time doing some admin and clerical work.
Well, I think overall, all of those things, it's just freed up time that I can spend in the unit with the staff. If the staff have questions, I have a very junior staff and many that are under a year of service. And so they have lots of questions, and now I am there to answer them and just to assist with the initiatives like patient flow and all that stuff that's taking a big priority in the health region.
Don't be afraid to close your door so that you have some time to do the work you need to do. Answer your emails or make a decision what to do with them instead of reading them and just moving on. Do something about them. And ensure that the communication with your staff is always a two-way street. Listen to what they say, but take the time to talk to them, pass on any important information. And those weekly newspapers that we do, it's just a one-page thing. It takes me 5 minutes, 10 minutes throughout the week. I just cut and paste from memos and stick it into there. Any bouquets for the staff, any bouquets for our support staff, all gets put in there. And I also take advantage of the other supports that are in the region that I perhaps didn't do as well before this project. I will tap clerical staff on the shoulder for help with collation of statistics and things of that nature.
So I met with all the staff, and I found out what their strengths were, what they were passionate, if they were passionate about an area. So that was the first thing I did. And then after I found out that, then we had some champions for an area, and then they would take that area on and become the champion. You know, if you want things to get done, you got to free up the people that are prepared to get it done for you, and you need to give them those few hours, because those few hours are going to reap tremendous benefits down the road.
I think a tip that if I could give new managers starting out would be if they can always remember the adage of the right person performing the right role at the right time is very beneficial, I think, because it's easy for you to get complacent and do the job yourself. But I think if you allocate the right person to do the job, that will free up you to do other more managerial based activities that are regional and provincial priorities in the health region.